All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wargames Podcast number 40, I think we're at now. Jesus.
4-0.
Big old 4-0. Fucking catching up to me. All right. So, got a couple of different things on the docket tonight. I guess I should probably get that video going here. So, joining me tonight, as per usual, is the Lobster. We also have Ven and Yogi in here to talk about one of the games that we'll be talking about tonight, and that is Monster Hunter World that just released today, which, thanks to the giving nature of the donkey, I do own. I will be streaming for you guys, and I do have some questions for these guys about it as they've been playing it today. So that's going to be the first thing we talk about today is Monster Hunter World. So I guess firstly, I already kind of know because I messaged Yogi. I don't know, what was it, maybe an hour ago, something. And all I said to him was, "What do you think?" And his response was, mind you, in all caps, was, "Let me see here. Fucking buy it. It's so much fun. Wait, hold on," and then he sent me a copy of it. So I'm assuming your guys' review thus far is that it's good. But yeah, so what's your guys' overall opinions on it so far? I know you've only been able to play it for, what, 4 or 5 hours, maybe?
We've actually been going straight for 6 now.
Oh, Jesus.
Like we were downloading it when it opened.
What time did it release? Was it like 9 a.m. PST?
Yeah, right around then.
All right. All right, so I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on it? Give us kind of a rundown on it so far.
I mean, I'll go first. For me, like the first initial impression of it, I just loved like the world itself, all the creatures in the world, and I think what blew my mind to begin is like when you, as the story goes on, trying to get control of your character in the open world, and you see one of the, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, the little hubs, your main hub that you go to in the game, and it's like, oh my god, this is just amazing.
So like the
And
first kind of like, I guess, kind of town type thing where you'll see other people and shit.
And I think everyone will agree, like the gameplay, I generally do enjoy. Like there's a variety of weapons that you can choose from carrying a sword and shield to a bow to whatever the fuck Van Harlem's holding called a switch axe. I have no idea what the hell that is.
It's basically an axe and a hammer all in one.
Okay, that's
I like.
but like there's so much variety of it, and it's just so much fun to play.
I agree with you, Yogi. Like it starts off at the very beginning, and it just kind of throws you into the world and says, "Look at the beauty." And even in the beginning cutscenes, it introduces you to some game concepts that you'll have to learn about later. Like within the first 5 minutes, you see something that's chasing you get attacked by something bigger, and you now have to run
Kind
from
of like
both of them.
Jurassic Park T-Rex style.
Yeah.
Exactly, because they actually use their T-Rex type analog, and it just kind of gives you this idea. And we had it happen to us. We were fighting that dang T-Rex thing, and all of a sudden, the big named world boss for the area comes in and almost kills us.
Oh, nice.
Well, Kill was dead. I survived.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Me and Van Harlem both hated on that one. But
all right. So, what's the basic premise of the game? Like, what's the, I guess, kind of who are you? What do you do? What's kind of the goal of the game for anybody that doesn't know?
okay, so you are a monster hunter. The basic premise of the storyline is the elder dragons are leaving the old world and going to the new, and they cause lots of destruction when they do this. They change the entire environment, change the weather patterns, everything like this. So you're sent over to try and figure out why they're doing it and if there's any way to change it.
Okay. And so and in the process, you hunt these monsters, and I assume you get some sort of pay for slaying these monsters, almost like Witcher style.
Not so much. It's more of Dauntless. If you've ever played the pre version of this, basically, instead of cash, you get item drops, right? And you turn those item drops into new equipment. And the best part about the game, in my opinion, is there is no levels, there is no skill trees. You're not restricted to a single fighting style or weapon type. You basically you find parts, and if you build a new weapon and you want to try a different type of fighting, you just do it.
Oh, nice.
With no loss to yourself, no loss to anything. Like I started off with the Gunblade, I hated it, so I switched over immediately, and I can switch back anytime I want if I choose to.
Oh, that's very cool.
Like basically the progression in the game is not like levels or skills, skill points or like perks. It's basically the armor and the equipment that you build is the progression in the game.
Right.
And your character would reflect that. So basically, I know for my character, I built bone armor. Looks fucking retarded, but it gives me so much boost and elevation. And you look at like Ven's character or Van Harlem's character, they look amazing, and they give his character certain boosts and stats. Basically, there's you don't buy items, you essentially craft the progression as you play.
Right, and your play style is kind of dictated not so much by your skills, but more so by what equipment you have. And you can change that out whenever the fuck you feel like crafting new equipment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your play style is very much tailored to yourself.
Okay, that's pretty damn cool. Wow, I'm watching this fucking video I have playing right now of from 7 days. It's crazy to look at this and see where this video is in comparison to where I know that mine ends up going and how big it ends up being. Jesus. Okay, so like I said, I was fortunate enough, thanks to Yogi, I do now own this and got it installed and everything. I'll be checking it out here shortly. But I was going through looking, of course, at reviews and stuff like that before I had talked to Yogi because I was, thinking about picking it up. And the reviews right now are mixed on it. A lot of the reviews I've seen in terms of the negative were people complaining about two things. Firstly, controller support and the, I guess, kind of the poor mouse and keyboard support, and I'll kind of go into that in a little bit more detail here in a second, as well as just kind of poor optimization. Now, in terms of the controller support and stuff, this game is ported from console. It's made by Capcom, which a name for me that is synonymous with Street Fighter. That's the only thing I ever think of when I hear the name Capcom. But it's been like 7 or 8 months since it came out on console. That now it's coming out on PC, and apparently, with the mouse and keyboard, there's like some very weird mouse movement, like mouse smoothing and stuff like that you can't turn off, so you can't get like traditional raw mouse input, and that's something that a lot of people were complaining about in reviews, that you can't turn off the mouse smoothing, and that I can understand being a problem. Like that's if you're playing with a controller, obviously that's not a big deal, but if you're trying to play on mouse and keyboard and you move your mouse, you expect a game to react directly to that raw input, which is why the vast majority of the time people turn off mouse smoothing and acceleration and shit like that. Now, in terms of graphics, I will say I'm not real keen on the fact that apparently you can't turn off the motion blurring. I'm not a big fan of motion blurring within games, mostly because of streaming. It looks like shit on a stream when a game has motion blur, which is why I always turn it off. So it kind of sucks that you can't turn that off. But I've also seen reviews stating that, guys are having poor performance and this and that, and guys with some pretty beast fucking rigs that are saying they're getting, 40 to 50 FPS with like 1080 Ti's and shit. What's your guys' experience on that stuff so far? Like, how's your guys' performance? What do you guys think of mouse input and stuff, if you're even using a mouse? I don't know, you might be using a controller, but what are your guys' thoughts so far after 6 hours of playing it?
I think for me, 'cause I'm playing with a controller, and so far I've no issues using the controller. But performance-wise, I've not had a single crash, low frame rate issue. I don't have the most amazing PC in the world. It's fairly average, and I've not had 0 to none issues at all when it comes to performance. I mean, the only thing I changed really was turn off VSync, and that was the biggest thing I turned off.
Yeah, that's kind of a given. most of the time, anyways. What about for you, Ven? Have you seen any of these issues personally?
I am using mouse and keyboard, and I've had no problems. I have a kind of bottom of the rack because my 1080 Ti cracked on me about 6 months ago, and I had to replace it on the cheap because I have two small children. And yeah, I'm running at maximum graphic settings. I haven't dropped below 55 FPS. I've had no glitches, no hangups, no nothing. I'm really not sure where that's coming from at all.
Well, personally, I think it's more so kind of the very, very high end crowd, meaning, guys that are playing on ultra wide 1440p monitors and this and that, and they're expecting, 100 some frames and shit like that. And they're pissed off that their, $5,000 computer can't do that. That's what I think personally. Us obviously being the ArmA crowd, where it's no big deal to play at 30 FPS. We're like, hey, great, holy shit, we're getting 30 frames.
Nice.
Pretty much no matter what game you're in. Like, if you see over 60, you're like, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. But yeah, for me, the biggest concern was, like I said, the motion blur, because it looks like shit on stream. And the mouse input lag, which concerns me. But at the same time, I have a controller. Like, I can play with a controller, no problem. But Ven, you said you haven't really noticed that being an issue, right?
Oh, not at all. I haven't noticed anything I didn't even know there was motion blur on, actually, to be honest with you. Um, because it's not come up that much. Like, most of the time, it comes up and it looks like it's an effect of you getting stunned or something else, but it's so brief that I don't think I've ever noticed it really being a problem. For the mouse and keyboard, for the mouse movement, I upped it by 5, right, for the camera move, and it seems to have gotten rid of that, right, as a workaround. Because it just basically speeds it up to what it actually
Right.
seems like it's reaction. But
Which is actually kind of weird. I mean, at least for me, every game I have to turn the mouse sensitivity down in, because I actually have my mouse DPI set very, very high. My mouse DPI is at like 1800. But the reason for that is because of the fact that I have 4 monitors and one of them being a 32-inch TV. So I have a lot of fucking surface area to get across. Like, if I'm going from my far right side of my right monitor all the way over to my TeamSpeak on my left monitor, like, there's a lot of real estate to cover. So my mouse has to move pretty damn quick. But then when I get into a game and I'm not playing on, 70 inches of combined screen, I'm playing on 32 inches, then it's like, oh, holy fuck, I'm spinning all over the place. What the hell's going on? So I always have to turn shit way down.
yeah,
But I did see that, though, like you're talking about how you just turned up the speed. I did see some people in reviews saying, just turn up your fucking mouse speed and you're good.
yeah, because I'm running my mouse at 2000 DPI, and I have a 34-inch monitor right here in front of me, and yeah, I just turned it up a little bit, and it worked just fine for me. The only thing I would say if you're going to be a keyboard warrior for this is make sure to change your keyboard settings so they're actually proper, because it defaults to the controller radial menus, which you can't use properly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just I think a missed thing they did on the port over. But yeah, definitely that's one of the things you have to go into your settings and change over. Otherwise, the game is near unplayable because you can't access half of your items.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually a pretty good fucking tip. So if you're gonna play Monster Hunter on keyboard, make damn sure your settings are all correct and shit, and you're not using a radio menu for your equipment, because you're not gonna be able to fucking access some of it. Yeah, which I would have to. It's weird because, obviously there was a point in time where I did do console gaming and shit. Granted, this was years ago on the original fucking Xbox, but like now, after doing PC for so long and doing mouse and keyboard, it's so damn difficult for me to play anything on a controller. Like, even like arcade racing games like Need for Speed and shit like that, it still feels really foreign for me to play on a controller. But like, you get into not necessarily some of the hack and slash, but kind of what you would consider hack and slash games like Assassin's Creed or Mad Max or the Arkham series of Batman games, stuff like that that a lot of people say is better to play on a controller. I can't do it. Like I can't play on a controller because anything that requires me to aim, I have to have a mouse. Like I can no longer aim with a stick. I just can't do it. That skill has been lost to me over 15 years or whatever of not playing console. So I just can't. Like even with GTA, I can drive in that with controller, but if I'm on foot, I have to be on mouse and keyboard, which is why I love that game you can seamlessly switch between controller, mouse, and keyboard. You don't have to change any settings or anything like that. You can just sit and go back and forth between the two. But I can't do dick in terms of being on foot with a controller. So Yogi, because you said you play on a controller, correct?
That's right.
So did you try playing it at all with the mouse and keyboard, or did you just go controller from Jump Street?
I went to the controller from the very first point because I used to play Dark Souls 3 and the controls were very similar to me. So it just felt natural from transitioning from Dark Souls 3 to Monster Hunter, so I found it very easy. But like I said, it might be different for different people. In all fairness, I felt the controls are very similar to Dark Souls 3 to this game.
Okay. Yeah, I played Dark Souls. I can't remember if I think I played that on mouse and keyboard. I don't think I did that on controller. I played it very briefly with drum. So, anyways, back with Monster Hunter. Because it is co-op, it's online co-op, you can play with your friends. How many people can you have in a group? Is it limited?
4.
Or okay, so you can have up to 4 people in a party. I do know, I heard that you do have to complete like a kind of like a
missions.
tutorial, before you can actually hop in with your buddies, which is pretty standard really for games anymore. How long does that tutorial take? And do you guys think 30 minutes, hour, what?
It kind of varies. Like it's about 35 minutes for the first quest,
Yeah,
Yogi?
I feel like if you just blitz through, you can probably do it in 30 minutes. In all fairness.
Yeah.
Be-
But all that allows you to do is just do the actual quest mission, storyline missions, and such. There's another single player quest that introduces you to the expedition mode, the free roam mode, that you have to do solo before you can actually have friends join you in expeditions.
Okay, so if say I were to start playing right now, and I wanted to join you guys, say roughly an hour of doing shit on my own, and then I'd be able to hop in and play with you guys. Now, obviously, you guys have been playing for a while today. Would I still legitimately be able to do shit with you guys, or would it be like, okay, we got to go, find some, tiny shit for Brewer to kill so he can get geared up and then he can actually join us and play in kind of the rest of the game? Or would I be able to go out with you guys right away and, join in on shit?
Yes and no. The way that Monster Hunter works is basically you do tiered missions. They have different levels of stars. Because me, Yogi, have done higher missions, you cannot join the higher level stuff until you reach them on your own quests. But we can come down and join you, and you will still be just as effective because the monsters are the monsters. They have the same style, same everything, no matter what. And even for us, there's still a 5, 6, 10-minute challenge, right? Just to beat one stage of a single monster. And there'll be 3 to 4 stages per. Hell, the first area, there's still things there that we can't touch. If we try to do it, they'll one-shot us.
Okay, and you said stage, so they're like multi-stage boss fights from like Warcraft. So like you get them down to a certain HP level, and then it introduces a new mechanic to the fight, or does he just start taking less damage, or what?
When you first encounter the creature, or the creature that you're meant to be fighting, fight it as normal creature, has its own rhythms, everything he does normally. And then it might run away to a different place, then you fight it again, you'll do more attacks, different routines, and then sometimes the creature can become enraged, which means it does more damage, it's more aggressive to a certain particular person. And then the final stage is probably 3 or 4 stages, I'm not too sure, depending on the creature, but basically each stage the creature gets more and more aggressive, does more and more damage.
Okay, yeah, so it just kind of introduces new elements to the fight with each stage, and makes you have to kind of, potentially change up your approach to fighting that monster.
Yeah, so basically the creature called the Pookie Pookie, I can't remember what the fuck you want to call it, the dumbest creature. And,
Pookie
by the way,
Pookie.
basically...
It's the most derpy creature you've ever seen, too.
For a man that loves laughing like myself, I had to fucking walk away from my computer because I laughed so much. It's the dumbest creature in the world. It's the fucking dumbest name in the world. And then if we fought it and I almost died, it's not something you want to fuck with.
So you almost died to Pookie.
I almost died to Pookie Pookie.
The other thing is, each creature does have a stage, but it's not like, oh, they just do the same things for each one. Like, one of the first creatures you fight looks like a giant iguana. After you beat it the first time, it'll go and try to find another animal and eat it.
Right, and then it'll start healing from this.
Yep, it'll heal from it.
Okay.
It can then it can spit venom at you, but you can counter it because if you beat up on where basically its bulging throat where it ate this thing, right? It'll spit it back out, grow weak and stunned, and you can beat on it some more.
Oh, okay.
And then the latest one we just beat, what was it? Right? When he got enraged, he splashed down mud on you that you got stuck in and had to work your way out of.
There is one thing we forgot to mention is when you fight these bosses, parts and creatures can fall off the monster and stop them from doing certain abilities. Now, like I said in the game, the progression in the game is you crafting weapons and armor. And the one way to do that is you break body parts off the monster. So there's a creature like a dinosaur, where it breathes out fucking fire. And basically, below its neck is a little, like a chicken fucking throat. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. But if you break that off, it can't breathe fire anymore. And you use that.
Oh, okay. So you can basically, like, completely eliminate one mechanic of the fight by, removing certain parts from the monster.
Right, and you can use them parts to craft, like, armor and weapons, etc. And that's the only way to craft them weapons and armor, if you break off them certain parts.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way you kind of learn about all this is not even just from trial and error. When you track a monster, you basically look for tracks, right? Dead carcasses and everything else that you track, and you get research points into it. And when you go back to base, you can go and look at the ecology stats, and it'll tell you, okay, this breaks, this breaks, this breaks, do this, and it'll stop this, this will do this. And you can basically go in knowing, okay, if I target this first, I'll have a much easier fight on my hands later on.
Okay, yeah, so it's kind of like, because I've played a lot of Witcher recently, so it's kind of like Witcher and, updating your bestiary and, learning what exactly to do to counteract this monster and so on.
It tells you what elements, if they're weak to any, what's the best weapon to use against them.
Right.
Etc.
Okay. I will say I have seen a little bit of the gameplay. I believe it was yesterday morning or maybe day before. Co was playing at Co Carnage, and I watched like maybe 10 minutes of it, and I had to shut it off because I knew it was something that I was potentially going to be playing, and I didn't want to watch too much of it, which was kind of disappointing because I love watching Co Carnage stream. But I was very, very impressed with the visuals of the game, especially like the kind of the character models and the armor and stuff like that. Like it was very what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't what I expected. It's not kind of your traditional looking armor and stuff like that. Like I was very much so expecting like your traditional like mail armor and plate armor and stuff like that, and kind of look like the traditional medieval style gear, and it's very much so not. It's kind of more reminiscent of I guess what you would see in not necessarily Final Fantasy, but kind of that style, that very
Yeah.
very heavily influenced by Asian art and culture and history. And I thought that was cool. Like, it was something very different to see, uh, and unexpected in a good way. So, yeah, the visuals of it definitely appealed to me. That's for sure. And you guys did say that, when like the open world and everything is really nice to look at, right?
Yeah, it's very pleasing. Like, it's very pleasing just to watch, just to stand there seeing all the creatures, like, doing their thing, really. Or when you're in the hub, to seeing everyone doing their, I guess, fucking job. Like
Now,
the smithy. Sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, when you're in the hub, is it kind of like with Destiny, where you go to the hub and you can see a bunch of other actual people in the world, or is it just your party that you can see?
Neither. Most of the hub is your personal area, right? You don't see anyone else because you're supposed to be, right, the prime monster hunter. There is what's called the Gathering Hub, which is basically a giant saloon that you and your party can go up into along with anyone else in your session, which a session's up to 32 different people.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the hub is kind of instanced to only you individually, but they do have one select place where you can, hang out with other players and see the rest of your party and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's very easy to switch between both of them, so it's not like a hassle to go into the hub, out of the hub, to fucking craft the weapons. Very seamless.
It's about 10-second load time, if that.
Yeah, it's not. Are there any loading times in this game? They're very short and little.
Yeah, they're so short, we're not even sure they actually exist.
Yeah, because that was actually going to be the next thing that I asked about, was kind of how do they integrate that instancing? Do you have to sit there and wait for 5 minutes on a fucking load screen so you can go into your self instance thing and then instance back to the outer world or whatever. So when you link up with your party, do you do that via your own personal like hub area, or do you guys link up in like that tavern type thing where you can see everyone?
You can actually do it on both. It's from any of the quest things anywhere, and it's just an invite. It was kind of ingenious how they did it, and it's how they get the load times down. Is basically they're called internet sessions. Each one is a 32-person server. Only 32 people on each section of the server, and only people you invite become an actual part of your hunting party. So yeah, there may be 32 people on the server, but there's only 4 people in your hunting party.
Right.
And every time you go out and once you go out for a quest or join up, they'll migrate you to a different server so you're all together. So I
Right.
think
So
we've seen
so when you go out in the open world, you're not going to see other players and stuff because it's instanced for the 4 of you or 3 of you or however many are in your party. It's instanced for you. So even though there's somebody in the UK that's standing in the exact same spot you're not going to see them because they're instanced completely on their own.
Oh yeah. Even like I said, the max you'll see even on the social area is only 32 people.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's extremely smooth. Like the only problem that we've actually had at all with any type of multiplayer is the matchmaking system in of itself.
So the matchmaking system in terms of like to get the 3 of you into a group together, you've had some issues.
Yeah, the group together is not the issue. It's getting everyone into the same quest or same expedition, which has been a little bit of a learning curve just because we had to figure out, okay, we actually have to complete this quest before we can do it. Now we have better with it, but it's still janky in my opinion, because if it's a single player quest that you have to do one of the campaign stories,
It doesn't tell you.
yeah, it doesn't tell you. And once you go to join up, you're like, oh, we can't do this together. The person hosting goes through a bunch of cutscenes, or does a certain point in the storyline.
Oh, okay. So there is, after the kind of introductory couple of quests or whatever, there is still other quests later in the storyline that you have to do solo. You can't do with your party.
again, it's another one of those yes and no things. Like the one we just did, there's a point where you have to basically guard a wagon while sneaking past a bunch of large, dangerous monsters. You can't join anyone for that. But then you actually have to fight one of these large, dangerous monsters, and you can actually invite people for that section of it.
Okay, so you can do like portions of the mission with your group.
Yeah. The problem is they also have to do that single player portion by themselves as well, and it led to having to repeat a quest for Yogi on this last one. It's I kind of think they did it just to try and keep single player portions like I said, sneaking past those monsters from being trolled, because it's a scary little part, and it's ups the tension that you're by yourself and that there's no one else with you,
Right.
but it also prevents anyone from just going Leroy Jenkins and attacking the thing and failing the quest for you.
Right.
Because there are negatives if you fail a quest. You lose cash, you lose items, right? You drop what you're carrying. It's actually a bad thing to lose.
And say,
Okay.
for example, what happened for us was Ben got to the point where he can invite myself and Van Harlem, and then when I was finally able to join, they killed the creature, and I was trying to get over as fast as I could to fucking get all the parts from the monster. And then when the cutscene was finally finished and we got back from the hub, I was rewarded food. It actually gave me meat and something else apart from any items from the actual place.
Okay, because you weren't like right there to grab all the stuff.
Yeah. As soon as I loaded into the session, creature died, they're scrounging all the parts, and when the boss dies, you have like, what, 60 seconds, I believe? 30 seconds?
60.
Grab all the parts from the monster, so I was running there as fast as I could. And then I was, like I said, when the mission finally ended, I was rewarded food and never completed the mission. Then I run the mission again by myself to the point where I can invite the pair of them and then be able to do it.
Right. Okay. And so, what happens if you actually die in game? Like, what's kind of the uh, like punishment for dying in the game? Does your gear get broken? Do you lose gear? You know, what happens if you get killed by one of these monsters in game?
It depends on what you're doing. For expeditions, it's unlimited amount of times to go down. It's just free roam. Basically, it's like, okay, I need 6 pieces from this monster to make my next weapon. Let's go hunt it so I can get enough. For actual quests, you get 3 lives among your entire party.
Okay, and so you do the mission, you got 3 lives. Say all of you die once, you fail the mission. What happens if you fail that mission? Do you just restart it and do another one, or do you have to, or do you like lose shit for failing it on the first try, or you know what happens if you actually fail that mission?
Well, how they punish you is for each time you get killed, you personally lose 500 cash. And right now we're only making 2,500 a mission. So I died twice, and I got a total reward of like 1,250.
Oh,
And,
okay. So I mean, it's a at least early game. It's a fairly good size hit if
yeah.
you know if you fuck up.
Oh yeah, and that's just for deaths. If you actually fail the quest, you will actually lose anything you picked up in that mission. So anything you actually harvest along the way, anything you kill along the way, anything else you lose. Anything, and you lose I think 50% of a random item you're carrying. So if you go in there like with Yogi, he's an archer and he has all his different types of ammo boosts. He can lose up to 50% of one of them just because he failed the mission.
Ah, okay.
Which ain't fun. Just want to point out.
Yeah, because those are expensive.
Oh yeah,
No,
because
so is that how does how does the economy break down? Because obviously you guys were saying that you know you craft your gear and your weapons and stuff like that, but is there you know obviously you're saying there's money and stuff. What like how does that economy work? What is that money used for?
Pretty much crafting weapons. So there's two ways to get new gear. You can actually buy it from the armory when you get to a certain level. It'll unlock new tiers of basic armor and
Hmm.
weapons that you can eventually upgrade. Or you can craft it. It's cheaper to craft it, but you actually have to have the parts.
Okay.
Right? Like for our tier weapon, it's about 900 for a single piece, but it's a 200 flat fee to craft anything, no matter what tier or level it is.
Okay. So what about like is there consumables and stuff like that you have to keep up on? Like is there health pots and things like
Yeah,
that you have to buy?
basically, money you use is essentially used for everything in the game. So if you want to buy food, if you want to give a character some food before you're going out on the mission, that costs money. If you want to buy potions or, for me, ammo for my fucking bow, that costs money. If you want to upgrade your gear, you get all the parts, it also costs money. And having money in this game, don't get, like, for us right now, we don't get a lot of it. So whatever we're upgrading or whatever we're buying, we're going to make sure we don't overspend on one thing. Like, for every mission right now, I gotta buy fucking more powerful arrows. And, like, in the default game, you get, like, unlimited arrows, but they're very, like, weak arrows. You don't do a lot of damage with them.
Right, the specialized arrows cost money.
Yeah, and I realized for me, like, I'm spending almost, I want to say 300, whatever the fuck the currency is in the game, every time I come back from the hub to get more arrows.
Yeah, like 20% just on ammo replenishment.
Right, which is always, that's a concern anytime you're playing any type of range class like that where you do have to replenish your ammo, whether be firearms or arrows or whatever. Okay, so is there any type of trading in the game? Like, can you guys, give each other gear or trade, pots or food or anything like that?
I don't believe so. We haven't tried it, to be honest.
We actually haven't tried it because, yeah, you're right. Because one of the good ways is every single area you don't actually have to spend money. You can go and collect the plants, the resources, and everything else from the world itself to replenish.
Okay, yeah, and so you can craft your own shit. Now, you guys said there isn't like skill trees and stuff like that, so can just anybody craft, whatever, or do they have to find like a certain book to know how to do it or anything like that?
Nope. You just actually have to find the items itself or the monster that drops it, and that's usually what it is. Because we've been running around, we saw these big mosquito-like things forever. We never messed with them. They were not hostile. We never tried it. I hit one by accident while fighting a monster and picked up its loot. They make armor. They make bombs. They make the ingredient, like 10 different crafting recipes that I would have never known if I hadn't just randomly hit it by accident.
Right. So when it comes to all the crafting stuff, so how do you know? I guess like what you can craft. Is there just a gigantic crafting index, and you can go look at it anytime and see, okay, well, if I want to make this, I gotta have, things 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's go grab this. Or do you have to like find, like I was saying, like books or anything like that to increase the amount of things that are in your crafting index?
Nope, you start off with the entire crafting index. You can see every item that can be made, every type of different cool item you can get. The kicker is you can't see the ingredients. They're all question marks until you find that ingredient in the world.
Oh, okay. So once you pick up that ingredient the first time, then that question mark shows that ingredient. So like you were saying, that mosquito thing that you kill, then you all of a sudden realize, oh, holy shit, this is the ingredient that was a question mark for all these different things. It's this.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
that's actually kind of cool though, because it encourages you to just go out and explore the world and do shit. I actually kind of like that. Some people may think that's annoying, but I actually kind of enjoy that because, like I said, it encourages you to play the fucking game. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and every item you pick up or anything you like discover or anything else like that gives you research points, which upgrades your companion, allows you to discover new armor, weapons, and crafts and all that type of stuff on your own time as well.
Okay, so it allows you to upgrade your companion. What's your companion? What does that thing
we were
do?
talking about that. I'm gonna say we're not going to tell you until you start playing the game yourself, because that is something you wanna.
You'll see it once you create your character, which the character creation kit system is amazing as well.
Oh, great. So I'm going to spend fucking 45 minutes creating my character.
And your companion.
I did see very, very slightly from Ko, kind of the start of his character creation. and I was like, okay, yeah, I got to turn this off because it looks too fucking cool. Which again was disappointing, but it's like I'm probably gonna end up playing this, so I don't want anything ruined for me.
Yeah. It was one of those things that it kind of blew my mind is how they did scars. Right. Normally, when you see scars, it's just a scar. Right. It's the same color for everyone, no matter what. And that always kind of bugged me because I'm like, okay, every scar I have on my actual body is darker than my skin,
Right.
not lighter. So what they did is they put it under the makeup section, and you can actually choose the color of your scar, the length, size, whatever else you want to put on it, and everything else like that. You can customize it to look exactly like you want it, down to the smallest detail. You can customize the length of your eyelashes in this thing, for God's sake.
Oh, holy shit! That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually talking about that, I was just fucking looking the other day. I have this fucking gnarly scar across my kneecap from a pair of hedge trimmers. Yeah, basically went at my kneecap like a pair of scissors. Anyways, short, I ended up with about a 3-inch gash across my kneecap. That definitely needed stitches, but paper towel and duct tape worked fine. And I was just looking at it the other day. I was sitting here and my leg was laid out straight, and I could see this, there's this big, like, basically dent in my fucking kneecap where this scar's at. And I have, like, a big dent in my lower back as well, where I've got this gnarly fucking scar that Sid likes poking because it's a big dent in my back. So yeah, that's actually kind of cool that you can get fairly detailed with the scars and stuff like that. Because like you said, I never really paid attention to it all that much. But yeah, the scars in games like that are kind of, they all do kind of look the same. I always thought that the most impressive looking ones were actually on Witcher 3 on Geralt. And you would kind of expect that from, a monster hunter to, get fucked up a little bit here and there. And have some kind of battle scars to show from it. So character creation, very, very fucking detailed. I know there's even fucking, of course, with the special edition or whatever the fuck it is you can buy, it's, you get like special armor that's influenced by feudal Japan, your traditional like samurai looking like scale armor, and you can get like a top knot haircut and stuff like that. So when it comes to I guess kind of the customization of everything, is the armor customizable at all? Like, can you dye the armor? Can you change the way it looks at all? Or is it just like, okay, you have bone armor, it looks like this, all bone armor looks like this, or does it change at all?
I actually haven't tried. Have you, Yogi?
If there is a way we haven't found out, or we haven't unlocked the ability to do so yet, basically the armor that we craft or guess, it just looks like that. You can level it up to make it the better, like stats-wise, but to make it change the appearance of it. I don't think we're able to do that right now. If not, I have no idea if you can.
Okay, so if you increase the level of the armor, it doesn't change the visual of the armor at all. It just purely changes the stats on it.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Oh, and look at that, Lobster's playing with the new emotes. Which, yeah, if you guys haven't paid attention to the title, all the sub badges and emotes are all live now, or at least the emotes I'm allowed to use as not being a partner. So there's only one for each tier, but they're fucking cool. The tier 3 subs get a badass GBU. So obviously I'm gonna be playing it. It's kind of fucking required to now, thanks to fucking the donkey. But I already know, obviously, Yogi's recommends it. That was his first words out of his fucking mouth to me when I asked him about it today. Which is, I did find it funny that I didn't even have to say what I was talking about. I just said, "What do you think?" with no context whatsoever, and he instantly knew I was talking about the game. But, again, you guys played it for 6 hours fucking straight, so obviously it's going to be recommended. But overall, if somebody's looking for something to play, they got $60 in their pocket to burn, would you guys say buy it now or wait and see how, see if there's any bug fixes or, whatever. Like, do you guys recommend just fucking grab it now or wait?
I would say if you have cash to spare, yes. If I don't know, if cash is like limited to you, but you still want to have a new adventure, think about it, but wait for it to go on sale. Like for me, I bought the fucking fancy smancy edition. But
Well, that makes me. I'm actually glad that you did buy that, because how useful is it actually? Like that starting armor and stuff like that, like the extra shit you get. Is it worth the extra? What is it, $10 or whatever, to get that special
it's
edition?
all cosmetic. It is nothing, no impact on gameplay whatsoever. The armor itself is just a cosmetic covering for whatever armor you're wearing.
Oh, okay. So you can just make whatever armor you're wearing look like samurai armor.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, is kind of a good thing at times, because you can ask Yogi, the chest piece I just got makes it look like I'm wearing an organ on my shoulders.
Makes you look like you're wearing a what?
A piano organ. I have pipes all over my shoulders. It's the most
Jesus
ridiculous,
Christ.
retarded thing I've ever seen.
Okay. So I guess if you really got some excess money to fucking burn and you don't want some of your armor to look fucking retarded, drop the extra $10. I forget what else is included in it. I think it's an armor set. It's the one hairstyle.
Like a talisman, and then something else I keep again. Like a ponytail.
Here, I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, you get hair, you get a certain like face marking or something, and then you get some talisman on your arm that glows for some reason when something happens. I forget exactly what it was. So it's purely cosmetic. Like Ven said, there's no game altering thing with the special edition, which is cool. So that's purely just, hey, I've got an extra fucking 10 spot to burn. I want to look cool, so I'll buy this stuff. All right, I can appreciate that.
And it's just it's just face paint, hairstyle, samurai armor that changes the look of your armor, and a bunch of emotes and gestures. That's it. There's only actually 3 cosmetic items. It's kind of overpriced in my opinion.
Well, so the cosmetic armor, does it automatically place that look on all of your gear, or can you pick and choose? Like, if you just want your chest to look like that armor piece, can you choose just your chest, or is it one or none?
I didn't buy it, so I don't know. That'd be Yogi.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. I have no idea how the fuck you make it. I'm gonna be even to wear it. To be honest, I haven't really tried yet.
So
in other words, Yogi bought it just for the sake of fucking buying it, and he's like, I don't know, I've never used it.
Hey, payday, leave me alone.
well, that's the thing. Like the armors you get, you're not in them for long, because once you beat the next better monster, you're gonna build armor out of his stuff.
Right, you're upgrading your shit, right?
Yeah, and like most of the ones we went through, like they're actually look cool. They have a cool aesthetic to them. It's like, yeah, okay, I know what that looks like because I killed the monster, and each armor piece, like, yeah, it looks like the organs, but it looks like the bone shield that this monster had on its head.
Okay, so it does like directly reflect what the monster was. Like if you make armor from the carcass of this monster, it does. You can look at it and be like, yeah, I know exactly what monster that came from based upon the visuals of that.
Yeah, and when you go to the social area, and actually you can show it off. Like, yeah, look at all the cool crap I've killed.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So that was one of those reasons, because I didn't really look at that at all to even buy it.
All right. So overall opinion, grab it. Like I said, I'm gonna be checking it out and I'll be streaming it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be streaming it tonight. I'll be checking it out tonight, but I don't know if necessarily I want to stream the start of it, like the start of the story and stuff like that. And the reason for that being kind of the same reason that I didn't watch Ko's stuff, is I don't really want to necessarily ruin it. That's kind of the weird thing, honestly, with streaming is, you can't, like, you don't have to play new games, obviously, but, you like to play new games to be able to give your opinion on them and, show those who aren't able to play them, who would like to at least show them what the game is like and stuff like that. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, you have people that don't want to watch you play new games because they want to play them themselves and they don't want anything ruined, which again is kind of my situation with watching Co's play of it. So it's like a weird position to be in, that you want to like support the guy that you like watching stream, but at the same time you don't want to watch him fucking stream because you don't want the game ruined for you. It's kind of a weird dynamic, honestly.
And I think that's where expeditions come in this game, because it is just a free roam, go see what you could find out in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's not a storyline. You don't see any of the actual characters besides yourself and your team members, and it's basically just one long continuous hunt.
Right.
Right? And yeah, random, stupid, crazy crap happens a lot.
Yeah, that to me I think would be kind of the better thing, or the thing I would prefer to stream. Like I said, I mean, it's still one of those, like, I would like to stream the story too, just to be able to, show you guys that aren't going to play it, or, aren't going to be able to play it, at least for the foreseeable future. But at the same time, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, So yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out, and I'll for sure be streaming the expedition stuff, and we'll see if I stream any of the story. I don't know. I haven't really made a decision on that yet. So yeah, that's gonna kind of wrap it up in terms of the Monster Hunter stuff, unless there's anything the two of you want to kind of throw in there as last minute thought.
Just one, yeah. For the recommendation to buy it, I would definitely say do it. I will say try to make sure you have friends to play it with you. Once you get up to the higher tiers and everything else, you do need a 4-person party. And if you don't have someone that you know on comms, you're gonna have to take regular randoms.
Yeah. I mean, that's always gonna be my recommendation, anyways, with anything co-op. If you're gonna play a co-op game, have some buddies to fucking play with you. If you don't, fucking use my Discord. Set up fucking games with other guys in Discord and use one of the gaming channels in there and hang out and play with guys from the community at the very least. Obviously vast fucking majority of people in the Discord are guys from the 506, but set up and play games in there. I mean, that's one of the reasons that Discord is there, is for the community to be able to connect. And if you're playing something like that, or fucking Destiny, or fucking whatever, use that Discord, use and abuse it. If you aren't lucky enough to be in the 506 and have, guys that you can draw on here or whatever, fucking use the Discord, man. Like, there's plenty of voice channels in there for you guys to, hang out and play in there and shit like that. And if we need more, I can easily put more in there in a matter of like 30 seconds. So, there's that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about tonight was something that was released fairly recently. Loster, was that update from Rockstar, that video, was that released today or yesterday or what?
I think it was. I got the email for it today, but it could have been yesterday.
9 hours ago, actually.
Yeah, today.
Okay, so yeah, so it came out today. Oh, and JL says in chat, I wish he never went goose hunting. I think I have to go to a 12-step program now. He bought the game and can't stop. Yeah, it can be pretty damn addictive. The only reason I don't play it more is that I've got so many other fucking distractions to where I just don't have the time to play it. So what we're going to do here real quick, guys, is I'm actually going to show you guys a video that was released today from Rockstar. If you guys haven't seen it, a lot of you guys in the Discord probably have already watched it. Lobster posted it in my Discord a few hours ago. But I'm going to show you guys this video on stream. So we're going to shut up for a minute and let you guys watch this video from Rockstar about the new Red Dead Redemption game. So I'm going to pause this video and start this Red Dead video for you guys, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up for a few minutes so you guys can check it out.
They'll probably hang you, buddy.
You coming, buddy? In the late 1800s, America was evolving, on its way to becoming the most powerful country in the world. New immigrants arrived, thriving outposts became towns, and civilization was spreading rapidly into the huge, wild, and lawless frontier. With Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games aims to create a living world that's not simply open, but deeper.
Come on, pretty boy.
More interactive and detailed than ever.
Pretty boy? You're kidding.
Combining action, storytelling,
We need to get those people warm and fed.
and gameplay in new ways. As you live, ride, and fight to survive as an outlaw in a notorious gang.
As long as we get paid or you get shot, I'm happy.
The game is an attempt to capture this pivotal moment when the age of outlaws was ending and the modern world was born. There is a huge world to explore, set across a range of America's heartland and frontier. From harsh mountain trails and dense forests to untamed swamplands and sweeping deserts, rugged livestock towns to modernizing cities and much more. All populated with a diverse cast of characters from turn-of-the-century life.
Now shoo, please. I'm waiting for someone interesting to turn up.
You play as Arthur Morgan, a trusted senior gun in the Vanderling gang, a band of outlaws and outcasts on the run from the pressures of civilized life.
We're gonna borrow a little money from old Uncle Sam and be out of his hair once and for all.
Each time they're forced to flee an area, the gang sets up a camp as a base. This is where gang members eat, sleep, perform chores, play games, and share stories.
Anyway, I got caught by some hill country sheriff stealing a chicken, I think it was, and he decided I was going to be hanged for it.
These are the people Arthur calls family, and you will get to know each gang member over the course of the game.
So, you save the silly bastard's life, then you and him go robbing sheep.
Helping the camp with food and supplies will keep morale high, while spending time with other gang members can reveal new secrets, fun things to do, and opportunities for mischief.
How about you and me go and redistribute some property?
In and out of camp, the world is alive and responds to the player.
Well, ain't this a rare treat?
And your guns aren't the only way to interact with the environment. Call out to a passing rider.
That's a nice horse.
Talk yourself into trouble with a local tough guy.
Clear out.
Or out of trouble with a town sheriff. Or intimidate a witness into silence, and more.
Keep your mouth shut, or you're dead, friend.
You don't want to involve yourself with this.
Confrontations can be escalated or diffused.
Take it easy. Do what you want. I don't care.
You can form friendships.
God, you did it.
Or make enemies as you choose.
You killed my cousin, you sick son of a bitch!
Your actions have consequences, and it's up to you to decide just how honorable Arthur is.
Should I have killed you, Jimmy Brooks?
Me?
Shooting and fighting have both been radically improved to make combat deep and engaging at all times. Each weapon has unique characteristics, with realistic reload and recoil that always keeps the player grounded and connected to the action in a gunfight. In a similar way, the bond with your horse is crucial and changes based on your treatment of the animal.
Hold still, girl.
Some breeds are better suited for certain tasks.
I got a fella been looking for a decent workhorse like this for a while.
Your saddle and saddlebags can store extra weapons, along with supplies and animal carcasses that you pick up while out roaming or hunting. Over time, the bond between you and your horse will grow, making them easier to control in tense situations.
Yeah, he's a great horse, aside from when the devil got him.
A rich and varied ecosystem thrives in the world, full of predators, prey, and scavengers, all smart and sometimes deadly.
You want to come with me? I'll show you how we hunt one.
Hunting helps the camp or earns you money. Wound an animal and you'll have to track them down. Animal pelts and other items you find can be traded for cash to use at general stores, gunsmiths, saloons, and elsewhere.
This is God's own country, and I feel I'm in purgatory.
This is a world that is rich in depth and detail, all designed to be explored on horseback or on foot. As you live the fateful journey of a gang of outlaws on the run across America. In the next gameplay video, we'll look at missions, activities, enemy gangs, robberies, other things to do, and much more, including the evolution of sharpshooting using the Deadeye system.
Holy fuck. Goddamn, does that game look amazing. Now, as you guys seen at the very end there, it does have, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox logos on there. They have not said anything yet in terms of whether it's going to be on PC. And very quickly, Pulse Off, thank you very much for that subscription. Glad to see you back, brother. And Gig with the 6-month resub and the tier 3 sub. So he now has access to that GPU. Congratulations. And thank you. I appreciate that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the video and not knowing whether we're going to have it on PC or not yet?
I thought the video was awesome. Even if it, like, obviously it's not on PC. There's no announcement made for PC yet, but I don't give a shit. That looks fucking amazing.
So, let me ask you this, okay? We don't know yet if it's going to be on PC. Right now, you know, it's looking like it's not going to be on PC, or at least it's not immediately going to be on PC, much like GTA 5. What does that mean for you? Is it, and seeing what you've seen so far, and I already, you know the answer to this, but still, is it enough for you to go out and buy a console for this game?
Yeah, I suppose. If I had the means, I would absolutely. Just to play it. I mean, I did the same thing for GTA 5. I played it on PS3, and then I played it again, I think, on...
Well, I know...
Played it again on PS4.
Oh, so you pulled a hammer?
Yeah, no, I take it back. I played it on 360, and then I didn't have a 360 anymore, so I bought it again for PS3. And then I got it on PC I got it on PC the night I pre-ordered it a couple of days before it released on PC.
Oh, right on. I honestly, like, I remember when God of War came out, the newest one. That one was very tempting for me. I was very, very close to buying a PS4 just for that game. But I ended up watching Goldie's playthrough of it and Ko's playthrough of it. So I didn't really feel like I needed to play the game because I was more interested in the story than the actual gameplay itself. So once I kind of seen the story, I didn't really care all that much anymore. But this, oh man, I don't know if I can wait a year or two for them to potentially port it over. And even then, you know, we don't know for sure if it's going to be ported over.
To be honest, I don't think you're going to have to wait, though.
I don't know.
Well, Rockstar's kind of gotten progressively faster and faster with PC ports on their most successful titles, barring the actual first Red Dead. GTA 5 only took 3 to 4 months, and that was during the console switchover from 360 to 1 and PS3 to PS4. They had to pump out the original game plus a copy for the newest console version, then they worked on the PC.
True.
And not to mention, in February, PC Gamer got a post off of LinkedIn of one of the main programmers for Red Dead that said it's for PC as well.
Oh, so really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I'll link an article. But yeah, it was Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, basically said, we'll announce it when we announce it, which I think what they're going to do is keep the console to try and get as many people to buy it on console as possible.
Right.
Probably 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. They'll wait a couple months and then say it's coming for PC
like
next
February
week.
next year or whatever. Yeah.
But I have no doubt it's gonna come PC. It will.
Yeah.
Come.
After GTA 5, I mean, how can you not? Like, how can you?
$500 million on.
Yeah,
PC,
it's still
a year for that.
Still, like, what is it? 5 years later or some shit since initial release. Like, it's still one of the top 100 fucking sold games in Steam. You know, so.
But besides, it's the sales, the microtransactions off on GTA Online is $500 million
massive.
a year for them.
Yeah, it's one of those. I guess I would wait wait to see an announcement. Because if they confirm it's going to be 3 months and then we're going to release it on console or release it on PC, then it's a for sure wait for me because it's just hands down going to look better. Obviously, it already looks absolutely stunning. What we've seen there was from PlayStation. That was on a PS4 Plus, which is capable of pushing 4K. Yes, but it's still not going to look as good as what I can make it look on my PC. So, yeah, I'll, especially if it gets confirmed at some point, that it's going to be released on PC, then I'm going to wait for it to come out on PC. But the thing that is, I guess, the most attractive to me is just by the look of it, the amount of shit that you can do. The amount of secondary, like side quests and just, random shit that you can find yourself doing, looks pretty fucking impressive. I mean, I genuinely think this may be something to rival the likes of, like, Witcher 3 with the amount of shit that you can do in that game. I think this is going to rival it. I honestly do.
Poker.
Yeah, yep, they got poker and they got
That's
fishing.
all I care about.
Yep, they got poker and fishing. That's my thing. If they got fucking fishing in there, like I can sit there for fucking 2 hours and fish in game where I don't have to get up at, 4 a.m. and be on the water by fucking 5 with my old man, then yeah, I'm fucking down for it. But I definitely foresee it being one of those games that I'm gonna fucking lose myself in for a month. You're not gonna see me around. I'm gonna be, playing that for fucking 12 hours a day, and just vegging out. It's just I know it's gonna end up being one of those games.
It's a world and a system that's always done that. This is my most played game ever. I've played the storyline 7 times.
Yeah, true, very true. Red Dead is very much so that. GTA was never really that for me. I thought the single player aspect of it was weak. Yeah, this is just it looks impressive, man.
And I love how you can see like influences from other Rockstar games that they've put into this, because they took away it looks like they took away the radial menu for guns, and they brought in the LA Noire gun system.
I'd say Max Payne is probably closer.
Well, yeah, but like they said, that you could actually load extra weapons up into your horse like you used to do in the trunk of your car.
Yeah.
In the war, and it looked, yeah, exactly, Max Payne as well. Like it just, they've taken influences from all the other games and all the developments they've done since the original Red Dead, and they're combining it into what looks to be one of their greatest works.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Mike, I would agree with you. Mike said in chat, all single-player games are weak anymore since everybody's thing is multiplayer. I would agree with that to an extent. There's still some guys out there that are
Hunter,
making. Yeah, I mean,
Fallout.
There's still some really Fallout's gonna be.
I mean, it's still at least at its core a dedicated single-player experience.
There is a select few that are still dedicated to that single-player experience and to co-op experience and shit like that. The market is obviously a lot fucking smaller than it used to be, but we do still have those fucking carrying the flag, most predominantly CD Projekt, but I think this now. They have said that this is going to have GTA style multiplayer, correct? Like, I'm not misremembering that, right?
They definitely said there's going to be like microtransactions, like whatever their version of shark cards for that game is going to be. Like that's all going to like be there. There's going to be shit that's like Here's the problem: is that because we talked about this, I think last time, Brewer, when I was talking about the new Nightlife DLC for GTA 5, is that everything is progressively becoming harder and harder to get.
Right.
The Underground Facility DLC was, what was that, like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, and Yogi was fortunate enough to have enough money to buy a fucking DeLorean. I still can't afford the fucking thing. Like it's still like it's so. And I have a feeling that they're gonna do. I'm hoping that they don't open with that. I'm hoping that they don't open with here, jump in, have fun. But by the way, this shit's really expensive. Hell, you want a new horse? Okay, that'll be however much money that you're just not gonna be able to attain by grinding, or it's taking a long time to grind it out.
Yeah,
and I think they're gonna avoid it just because of the major problems that's happened with Battlefront and the other incidences of this year.
But it's not stopped them from doing it.
It hasn't stopped them. But like you said with GTA 5, it was like frog in hot water. It started off a much lower area, and as they added more stuff, they raised prices. So it's an incremental increase. Like, oh, okay, I've played for a while. That's not so much more than what I already have. If they dump in with, like you said, high innumerable prices that you have to grind forever to get, it's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
but they're doing that now, though. They're doing that now with shit that, like, people don't have $5 million. It takes forever to get $5 million in that game. You have to buy shark cards. Even someone like me, I've been playing the game since day one on PC. I have a lot of shit in that game. I had to have a fucking modder come and give me illegal money, essentially, in order to actually be able to afford anything. Like, they're doing it now.
The only reason I think that they will do it from Jump Street, and it will be, buy a shark card or whatever the fuck the equivalent is, or grind for fucking 3 weeks. The only reason I genuinely think they'll do that straight from Jump Street is the fact that despite all of the fucking problems and so on that Battlefront had, and the big hoopla that has, risen as a result of that, none of that ever blew back on Rockstar. They weren't in the fucking newspapers. Yep. They weren't, nobody gave a fuck about them. Nobody was mentioning Rockstar at all. Their biggest thing over the last 2 years was when Take-Two shut down 5M for all of like a week, and then it got reversed basically because of all the hoopla. But all of the talk of microtransactions and loot boxes and all of that, it never sullied Rockstar at all. Like, their name wasn't coming across anybody's lips, with exception to those of us who are gamers, who do play their games a lot and know, hey, these guys are doing the same fucking thing, and they have been for years. And, I remember very specifically one of the podcasts where we were talking about all of those issues and EA and all of that, all of us were like, yeah, what the fuck about Rockstar? Like, nobody gives a shit that these guys are making, damn near $1 billion a year off of their fucking microtransactions. Nobody's mentioning that, which was weird to me. But at the same time, Rockstar is just sitting back like, yeah, we're going to keep our fucking mouth shut. See no evil, speak no evil.
I think that comes from just quality of the game. Like, Battlefront 2 was a giant steamy pile of a fucking rushed mess, right? And no one could justify, $2 is fine. With GTA 5, it was a great fucking game, especially the online multiplayer once you got into it. Right? It was justified in the expenditure.
Yeah, I can absolutely 100% agree with that. Like, I can understand that, people see it as more justified because it is a much, much fucking better product. I can understand that completely. But, at the end of the day, they're still doing the same thing. They're still, entering the same practice. Whether it's justified because they put more work into their game and, made people happier, that's a fucking argument I'm not going to have. But they're still doing the same thing. Whether you want to buy into it or not, that's your fucking choice. But, you know, it doesn't change the fact that the game is still enjoyable without those microtransactions, which is what I'm hoping Red Dead is going to be. Yes, there may be, you know, microtransactions where if you want the biggest, baddest fucking horse, you have to fucking, you know, end up dropping $20 of real money to get it. That may be the situation. That's kind of the situation in GTA. But at the same time, I don't have to have the fastest car in the game to enjoy the game. I don't have to have a underground bunker where I can gain access to this fucking mobile command center that's got fucking rockets on it or some shit. I can still enjoy the game perfectly fine without all of that stuff. So hopefully, if they are following that business model of having microtransactions and stuff like that, they're not going to implement it in such a heavy-handed way that you can't enjoy the game without having access to this shit that you got to spend real money to basically get. Otherwise, you have to grind your ass off. And I think they will. I genuinely do think they, especially given that they do want to kind of stay out of the spotlight and not fall into that realm of, hey, you're ripping us off. I think they are going to be a little more light-footed with it and not, you know, beat you over the head with the microtransactions. Maybe that's not going to be the case. Obviously, we don't know, but that's what I think is going to be the situation. You know, the game is still going to be just as enjoyable without, you know, having to spend real money. At least that's my hope.
I agree. I mean, I have fun with GTA. It's just like there's things that I want that are just like come the fuck on. Yeah, like I love to fly a jet. Like I'd love to have a jet, like one of those fucking F-15s or whatever that they got in there. I'd love to fuck around with one of those, but I can't. It's way too expensive. Like what is it? It's like $5 or $6 million or $4 million or some shit like this. It's really expensive.
Yeah, I think for right now, I think like the biggest proof of that is like the newest update, the nightclub thing. To have like a fully upgraded nightclub is like I don't know how much, it's like 4 million or something.
4 million, yeah, because I broke it down. It's like you can buy the cheapest nightclub for like $1 million, 1.1 mil or something like that. And then if you want to upgrade your staff, if you want to upgrade the club, I think all the upgrades all in, you're looking at an extra 3 or 4 mil.
Yeah,
on top
upgrade
of
it cost $1 million.
Yeah, on top of upgrading your staff for the basement for your businesses too. That costs a bunch of money too. Although to hire new staff members isn't that expensive. It's tiered. So like your first staff member is free, your second staff member is like, I think it was like 110 grand, and then it was like 170 grand. So it's not, that part isn't terrible. But just adding more security to your club, which I believe nets you more money in the long run because you have less losses or something like that, like less theft or something, is like fucking $800,000 or $500,000, like $500,000, which takes, you know, a couple of days for me anyways to grind out.
Right. Yeah, it's, I personally, even in GTA, I've never been one of those people that's like, I have to have fucking the newest and coolest shit. Like I never really gave a shit about it enough to, you know, oh, I have to spend this, you know, $2 million to get this shit. Like I have a fucking apartment with a bunch of really nice cars in the garage. I have, you know, one of the apartments with the tall fucking garages in it or whatever. The only reason I have all that shit is because of fucking hacker money. Like, yep. We were in game one night. Actually, Yogi, weren't you with us that night?
Yeah,
fucking
I was
hacker
one
was
of the
in there.
poor sods that got to spend his money.
Yeah, so, you know, each one of us got like fucking 4 or 5 million or some shit. And I immediately went and fucking grabbed an apartment, spent it on a fuck ton of cars, you know, got rid of the money. And that's pretty much it. Like I've never really given a shit about buying all the super cool stuff. And like I said, hopefully it's the same way, you know, with Red Dead. Hopefully I'm able to play the game and, you know, still be able to have fun with it and play all the way through the campaign and shit without needing any of that shit. And I think that's going to be the case.
Speaking of modders, I really hope Rockstar like publicly or make some kind of announcement to like, and we have a all new anti-cheat system or something like that, or anti-hacking system, or you know what I mean. Like I hope they have some kind of way to deal with, because as pleasant as that is to say, oh, you know, there's some guy giving out money, which is
yeah,
great.
but at the same time, for each one of those guys that's cool as shit and gives everybody money, there's 90 assholes that just run around killing everybody in the server.
Yeah, that are setting the server on fire or blowing up your cars or kicking you out of your vehicles and stripping away your weapons and shit like that. Like, no thank you.
Yeah. What worries me is with GTA, like you said, there's always a new toy. There's so many new things you can do. With Red Dead, just because of the setting, there's not that much they can just add and tack on afterwards.
Oh, they can.
I'm sure
there's guns aplenty.
Yeah, guns, different mounts, like, you know,
different saddles, different horses, different wagons, fucking new types of bows that you can use for hunting. You know, there's all kinds of shit that
probably
I could sit down and think of.
Homes that you can build, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some kind of business thing.
Or there might even be a Fallout 4 type crafting section where you actually build your own towns.
That's possible.
That honestly would be kind of cool if you were able to start like your own homestead, or you know, build your own ranch and
maybe have access to a locomotive.
Yeah.
If the map's big enough to, you know, I mean, GTA San Andreas is pretty fucking huge, and that's a densely populated area with skyscrapers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine what they could do with like, I mean, they showed
the wide open west.
Yeah, they showed a few biomes. They showed like a swamp, and like a rolling plains, and I think there was a mountain. You know, then Red Dead Redemption had most of those things as well. But,
yeah, like there was 9 to 10 different biomes in the original Red Dead. It was the same size as the original San Andreas, and like I think half the size of the new one. If they even just make it double the size of the original Red Dead on horses, it's a huge area.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, like Mike's saying in chat there, you know, you'll find out when your first gun is a fucking, you know, a traditional black powder pistol, and you're using a ramrod and shit, and then it's like, oh, I want a fucking Peacemaker. Peacemaker's gonna be $10,000. By the way, you only get $20 per job that you do, or per robbery. So, yeah, you might want to buy this shark card, or war bond, or whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, we've only got a couple of months. It's October that it gets released. So, you know, yeah, we've only got a couple months until we get to find out all the fucking nitty-gritty on it. And, you know, people start digging into it and seeing what everything, you know, how everything works and so on. And really probably only a month, maybe a month and a half until really we get our first looks at it. Because, you know, there's going to be big streamers that are going to get fucking early access to it and shit, or at least that's my guess. So
I'm sure Shroud and fucking Summit.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I'm sure they'll get their key. Tim, maybe we'll get lucky and Eli will get a key. That'd be nice to watch.
Yeah. Oh God.
He might be a little low. He might be a little low on the totem pole though.
I don't know. He's pretty big on Rockstar's radar.
I guess that's true. That's true. If they want to, yeah, that's right. The only reason he left GTA is because of the community, you know. So.
Yeah, it's a good chance we'll see him in there. Now the bigger question is, you know, is it something that I want to watch someone stream? I would absolutely, don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to watch Eli fucking stream that, but at the same time, it's kind of the, you know, the same situation I was talking about earlier. Like, I would love to watch Eli stream it, but at the same time, I want to play the fucking game, and I don't really want anything ruined for me. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see what news is announced, whether, you know, when or if it's coming to PC, you know, shit like that. Like, especially if they say, yep, it'll be, you know, we're releasing it on Steam for purchase in, you know, February or something, then yeah, I'm not gonna watch any streams of it. I don't want to fucking see or hear anything about it because I'm gonna be doing it myself in a couple of months, you know. So we'll see. So I mean, that kind of wraps it up. It wasn't necessarily a huge bit of information or anything like that. Just our first real look at the gameplay of Red Dead.
As opposed to like cutscenes and shit like that.
Yeah,
It's
and
actually,
cinematic trailer, like it's actual gameplay, and it looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I guess kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about tonight, which is kind of surprising that I'm already kind of covered the stuff that I wanted to cover tonight.
Monster Hunter, fucking Red Dead, and now.
Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to cover tonight was what's going to be coming here in about 3 weeks, which is the changes to Divinity Original Sin 2. Have any of you guys played that?
Oh yeah.
Ven's the big RPG nerd among that I know. Yeah. I'm not.
Yogi, did you play it? I know you watched us stream it, but did you play it at all?
I have it and I played it for about an hour, but since I had no one to play with, I kind of stopped playing.
Okay. Have you guys heard at all about the changes that are coming to it on the 31st?
No, what happened? Well, I actually haven't heard anything about it yet.
You might want to grab a couple fucking towels or something for cleanup.
A sock.
Yeah. Okay, so on August 31st, Divinity Original Sin is being released on consoles. Okay, great for console gamers. It's an amazing fucking game. One of my favorite games of the year. In addition to that, they are releasing the Divinity Original Sin 2 Enhanced Edition or Definitive Edition. That's what it is. So it'll be the Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. Now, firstly, all of us that own Divinity Original Sin 2 get the Definitive Edition for free. We do not have to pay for it. We automatically get this. Now, what the Definitive Edition is basically a large, incredibly large update to the game. What they're doing is, firstly, they're implementing some changes as to the mechanics of the game, the balancing, different menu systems, stuff like that. Vast majority of it is a lot of quality of life changes, just the way the menus work and how your inventory works and crafting and just streamlining a lot of it. They're giving you a party inventory. So, if you're playing with a party of 4 people, if you have something that you're not going to use, you don't want, you can just throw it into the party inventory and anybody can grab it out of there whenever the fuck they want. It's not like before where, you'd open your inventory and, see that so-and-so has something that you can use and they're not using and say, hey, can you give me that? And, then they got to pass it over to you and stuff like that. You can just chuck anything you're not going to use into the party inventory and guys can grab it out of there, which I really like. Like, that's a nice fucking thing to have. Because that would have fucking alleviated a lot of the trouble for us with the stupid fucking teleport pyramids. And going, who's got the fucking pyramid? Well, I got one. Who's got the other one? I don't know. Who the fuck has the pyramid? So, anyways, as I said, they're doing some balance changes with some of the different classes, as well as some AI tweaks and so on. If you guys, watched my playthrough of it, which admittedly was pretty long, I played a undead character, which the undead characters can only be healed via poison, and if actual healing spells are cast on them, it actually damages them. Well, it was kind of annoying in the sense that the AI was able to, they would react to that in, I don't know, what was a very, unrealistic way. There's actually a mod on the Steam Workshop for that specific thing called, No More Clairvoyant AI or something like that. So basically the AI doesn't fucking automatically know what class you are and race and all of that shit. So they're doing some changes with that. Also, and what is the biggest change, is they've completely rewritten the entirety of the third act of the game, the final act of the game, which anybody that hasn't played it, this game is massive. I mean, it takes a long fucking time to get through all of it, and we somewhat rushed through it when me and Drum and everybody did our playthrough of it. So they completely rewrote the third act. This consisted of recording more than 30,000 lines of dialogue for all of this shit that they rewrote. So the entire last third of the game is completely different from what we played through before when we beat the game, which is cool because the third act was the weakest point of the entire game. That's where all of us kind of got disinterested and we're like, hey, let's just hurry up and fucking finish this already.
I never got through it either.
Yeah, it very quickly became boring. Like you didn't, at least for me, I didn't give a shit what was going on, you know, who any of the characters were or anything. I was just, yeah, fuck it, let's just kill everything and go. So, and obviously that was the feeling for a lot of people, and hence they've rewritten all of it. So I'm very excited for this. It's going to be like playing almost a whole new fucking game again, but a game that I know I already fucking enjoy. I genuinely enjoy the gameplay of Divinity Original Sin. It's, you know, it's turn-based, it's, which I like. I do enjoy turn-based games, mostly because it gives me a chance to sit here and fucking kind of kick back and smoke a cigarette and not be, you know, like stressed out at all while I'm playing the fucking game. And it's also a good, at least I think it's a good thing for streaming because, you know, when I'm playing with 3 other guys and, you know, it's turn-based, we can kind of take our time. We're able to kind of hang out and bullshit the entire time we're playing. It's not hyper-focused the entire time. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Like I said, it comes out the 31st of August. If you already own Divinity Original Sin 2, you get the definitive edition for free, 100%. You get all the changes and everything. I have actually talked Drum into fucking playing through again, which for anybody that knows Drum is quite a fucking feat, considering I think the only game he's ever really played through multiple times is fucking XCOM. Yeah,
Dark Souls.
Yogi is Dark Souls and XCOM. Like those are the only 2 games he ever plays through multiple fucking times. So yeah, I'm excited, 1, that I get to play the game, and 2, that I actually fucking talked Drum into playing the game again, which is like unfucking heard of. So having, I guess, kind of heard about that shit now, Ven, what are your thoughts on it? Are you gonna fucking play through it again come 31st?
Yeah, actually, I'm definitely going to. I was actually looking up the at the changelog while you were talking. I've toyed with using this a few times for I GM D&D for both here in the 506 and other groups, and I've toyed with this for a long time because the GM mode about actually using this to do it. With a lot of the GM changes for combat and everything else, and for actual just item prices, I'm reconsidering actually switching to my entire group server possibly. Because yeah, besides the narrative tweaks, there's a lot of quality of life that were needed being done.
Yeah, it's fucking impressive what they're doing. It really is impressive, and I'm excited to see it. So I guess that's kind of the last thing I had specifically that I wanted to talk about, with exception to something that me and Loster did last night at like fucking 1 o'clock in the goddamn morning or some shit. Or no, I think we started at what, midnight?
Midnight. Yeah.
After the squirrel mission, which by the way, if you guys didn't catch the squirrel mission from last night, it was a really cool mission, something that we've been kind of talking about doing for a while. Me and Drum and Weewu have kind of been toying with this idea for a little bit, and we basically did the testing for it last night, and it's basically Stalker in ArmA. I know a lot of the guys last night obviously had no fucking clue what was going on or anything like that.
When I saw the anomalies, I'm like, those are anomalies, but I didn't want to like say nothing.
Right.
I'm like, wow, because I don't know if obviously that's like breaking immersion, because it's like, well, I mean, those are 2 different universes. I can't like combine. But then we will clear it up. It's like, yeah, those are anomalies.
Yeah. It was kind of cool to hear I guess kind of not necessarily the panic, but I mean, it was kind of panic and somewhat, fear in guys' voices, because they didn't know what the fuck it was, what was going on or anything like that. I guess I could have played it off a little bit better and been a little bit more surprised by it, but the same time, like I knew what was going on. I knew what the shit was, but
yeah,
is what it is. So, anyways, after we did the squirrel op last night, me and Lobster finally got to sit down and record something that we've been talking about doing for a while, and we're finally able to sit down and do. So, Lobster, what did we do last night for like 3.5 fucking hours?
We finally made love, and it was beautiful.
Yes. All right, that's the end of the show. Thank you guys for hanging out. So, as you guys know, me and Lobster are huge fans of cinema. Maybe not good cinema in some people's opinion. Those who are fucking lame.
Go watch The English Patient. Fuck off.
Yeah. Go enjoy your fucking rose red, or not fucking rose red, rosebud. What it is. But we have been talking for a while about doing a pre-recorded show, basically breaking down some of our favorite movies, talking about them, who's in it, what they do, and just kind of our take on the movie. There's a lot of fucking films out there that me and Loster are adamant fucking diehard fans of, that maybe a lot of you haven't seen, or have only seen it once or heard about it in passing or something like that. Obviously,
or you're too young and
I was gonna say, I'm a little bit older than a lot of people that watch. Obviously, not everyone, but there's a lot of films from the mid to late 80s all the way up through the late 90s that are pure fucking gold for me, because it's what I grew up watching, that a lot of people haven't seen and may even think they're fucking silly. But that's what the whole point of the show is to explain why we love those movies. So what's the name of the show, Lobster?
The name of the show is Be Kind, Rewind, which is, for those of you who are too young to remember this, before those DVDs and Blu-rays that you have were cluttering your shelves, your parents had VCRs, and in order to rent movies, you had to go to Blockbuster. And the stickers on Blockbuster, they had stickers on them that would say I believe it actually, the slogan was,
yeah, it was Be Kind, Rewind. Yeah, it had a little smiley face on it.
Because that was basically them saying we would appreciate it if you rewound the tapes. Although I have found out from previous Blockbuster employees that they really didn't give a shit.
No, they automatically put them in the fucking machine to rewind them anyways.
And then we'd rewind them in like 10 seconds. And it was done. But pretty much every movie that we do is of that era. It was available on VHS, I think. I mean, because all the way up, I think our cutoff was like the year 2000-ish, like right in that area.
Much, yeah.
And VHSs were still being made at that time. You could still buy movies on VHS. DVDs were becoming the standard, but they weren't there yet. I remember when like fucking DVD players were like $200 you had to spend.
Oh shit! I remember when fucking DVD players were like $600. Like, holy shit,
I was still a kid, so I didn't look at price.
Well, it's like just last night. Just last night we were talking about TVs and like flat screens and box TVs and stuff, and I was talking about how I remember my first what I considered a big TV, which was a 35-inch TV. When I first got that, this was in like 96, 97, somewhere right in there. It was like junior, senior year of high school, somewhere in there. I got a 35, or actually no, it might have been like 95. But I got this 35-inch TV, and my parents had the exact same TV in the living room. Basically, we had got two of the same fucking TV. We had already had one, and my dad bought another one, let me take the one. But I remember being super fucking excited that, I got a 35-inch TV, and the thing weighed like 120 pounds. It took two people to move it. It was a 35-inch TV. And me and Lobster got talking about, how like flat screens are nowadays. Like I have this fucking 32-inch flat screen that I can fucking move around with one hand. I remember the first flat screen that I ever got was in like 2008, 2009, and it was a 50-inch flat screen that I got from ABC Warehouse because my uncle worked there and hooked me the fuck up. And I remember being super fucking excited that I was walking out of there with a 50-inch TV for like $1,200 or some shit out the door. Like, it was an entire fucking paycheck on a TV, which was a huge deal. But now, like, you can get a fucking 50-inch flat screen now for like $300.
Yeah, that's normal these days.
Yeah, a quarter of the price, and it's been 10 years.
Yeah, and it's like an infinitely better quality, higher refresh rate, higher resolution. Like, it's just everything is better about it.
Yeah, they're LEDs now. Back then it was plasmas.
Yeah.
Which if you knocked it hard, it would leave a burn mark in the middle of it. It would never
Yeah,
work
exactly.
again
If you
forever.
touched the screen too fucking hard, you know, your TV was fucked. You had a purple fucking dot in the center of your screen for the rest of its life. So yeah, that's kind of the era we come from. So, you know, I don't know, it's been like a month or so that we've been kind of debating on what to name it and this and that and trying to come up with names and stuff. And, you know, Be Kind Rewind was a term that, you know, is synonymous with us because of the VHS era and renting movies and stuff. But at the same time, it's synonymous with us as the name of a movie. It's actually a Jack Black movie from back in the day.
Yeah, it's a great movie too.
Yeah, I dug that fucking movie. Me and
It's a good
Lobster
movie
we were
it's a good
talking
movie
about
about
that
making
last
movies.
night. About how, you know, it was kind of disappointing that it didn't do better than it did, because that was like one of Mos Def's early movies, and I was a huge fucking fan of Mos Def. But anyways, that was kind of the reason that we were shying away from calling it Be Kind Rewind, because we didn't want it to be associated with that movie. And then we kind of realized, like, that movie's pretty old. Like, a lot of people probably don't even fucking remember it, you know?
And you're kind of doing the exact same thing that they did in the movie.
Yeah,
Breaking down
true.
movies in your own way and making them your own.
What's it called when they just like slap a movie together? There's a term for it, where they just slap the movie together with shit, I forgot the name of the term. Continue.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Because the way that they make, because Jack Black erases all the tapes, and they have to they have to put the movies back on the tapes, but they can't afford to buy new tapes, so they just shoot their own versions of the
Right.
movies. There's a term for that when you just slap a movie together in like 5 minutes with like shitty like. When
Pretty
you
sure it's
recreate a
called the
film.
Seagal method.
Probably.
So yeah, anyways, you know, the series is called Be Kind Rewind, and it's going to be a weekly thing where me and Dipshit pick a movie, you know, ranging from, you know, maybe even late 70s up to around 99, 2000. You know, we may grab a couple from the early 2000s, and just kind of sit down and bullshit about it. Yeah, oh yeah, there's definitely a couple up to like 2003, 2004, you know, in there that we'll probably end up talking about. But yeah, just kind of give a rundown of the movie and everything. And the first one that we did is one that both of us, you know, it's always stuck with both of us, and that is Demolition Man, with Stallone and Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Leary. So we spent like basically 3 hours last night talking about it, because we took a piss break here and there and so on, which is one of the reasons we didn't want to do it live, because it would end up being like a 4-hour long fucking stream for some movies, if not more. So it's pre-recorded. Lobster's gonna be editing it and, you know, putting it all together tonight, and, you know, cutting in some footage from the actual movie and shit like that, and some of the scenes we're talking about and so on. So that should be ready for everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm gonna probably pull a late one tonight. Probably stream for a few hours tonight, and then when I'm done with that, I'll start I'll probably just ground it out, and then I'll render it overnight, and then I'll upload it tomorrow morning.
Okay, and so that'll be available tomorrow, and Lobster's doing all the work, so it's going on his fucking YouTube. You guys aren't gonna fucking get it on my shit. So Lobster, put a fucking link to your YouTube in the Twitch chat. So you guys can check out the link from Loster. Go fucking subscribe or whatever to his channel so that you'll, see when that video goes live tomorrow. And you can, hear us talk about Demolition Man for a little while. And then, like I said, it's going to be a weekly thing. So this will be, common occurrence every, Friday or so. You'll get a new video from Lobster, labeled Be Kind Rewind, and then whatever we're going to be talking about. And then, of course, he'll be linking it in Discord and shit like that, so you guys will get the notification there as well. But make sure you subscribe to Dipshit so, it pops up on your fucking feed or, whatever the hell they call it.
Also, if anybody's curious, I got a lot of shit on there from...
old school shit.
Old, like, ArmA 2, 15th MEU, like... We're talking like, back when we're all on the 15th together, and like we're founding members of the 506.
When everybody was babies.
Yeah, it's like 5 years ago. There's a lot of shit on there. There's also a lot of shit from when I was like kind of serious about having a YouTube channel. Like I got some Brothers in Arms playthroughs and shit like that, but I kind of just let that go. But this idea, I like it. It might be a way for me to... Maybe if people watch, maybe if I draw enough attention to my YouTube, it might help bring some outsiders in, so I can start building my own audience, and maybe, hey, I talk about movies, but I also stream. Check this out too. Check out the podcast, shit like that. But yeah, it's like for me, this was I've always kind of admired the fact that you decided that what, yeah, I think I'm gonna do a podcast, and you've pretty much consistently done it every week, barring a couple of emergencies and reasons here and there. But I've always kind of wanted to do something of my own.
Yeah, don't forget, everyone, that you have Locke to blame for that. So
yes,
if you ever see Locke in TeamSpeak, or you see Shogo XS in my chat, or you guys follow him on Twitch or whatever, which you should, go follow him. If you see him streaming, you can blame him in chat for you guys being fucking subjugated to this torture for a few hours every week.
He's like, yeah, you should do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. 40 weeks later.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But this was like my way of trying to maybe, I don't know, do something for me to feel productive again. And
right, and something to be, actually passionate about. You can't...
Yeah.
We can't do just ArmA. Like, you can't... I don't know, to me, you can't really... what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you can't base your...
pigeonhole yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't base everything, or at least I can't base everything I do on ArmA, because ArmA is limited in the sense
small
that...
community.
Yeah, there's a small viewing body for it. There's, we only have a limited amount of ArmA that we can play. Like I talked about this, I think, last week. We don't have a community like Leroy's that, we've got 20, 30 guys that will play ArmA 5 days a week for 3, 4, 6 hours a day. We don't have that capability.
Right.
So you have to branch out. You have to find other things to do. And this podcast is one of those things. And for whatever fucking unknown reason, you idiots keep showing up. I don't know why. Maybe there's something wrong with all of you.
Yeah. I'd say there's something really wrong with the people who watch your 7 day shit, because this is fucking so stupid. I've been watching you fucking just carve a hole in the rock for fucking 2 hours now.
The reason 7 days is so fun for streaming is because of the amount of interaction that I get. Because when I play ArmA, I can't talk to anybody in chat.
Right.
I can't, hold a conversation with anybody because I'm, trying not to fucking get guys killed. As we're 7 days, aside from the Horde night, I'm doing exactly what you're seeing. I'm digging a fucking hole in the ground. So I'm able to hang out and bullshit with everybody in chat the whole time.
It's the same with me, like PC Building Simulator. Like,
when
I play ArmA, I can't look at chat. Like, it's so hard. Same thing with GTA. It's hard to, like, when I'm driving, I can kind of look down and read my chat really quickly. But when I'm doing PC Building Simulator, that's usually when I get, like, the most interaction with my chat, or some kind of, like, strategy or business game or something like that. Men of War is a really good game to re-chat with.
Right.
Shit like that.
Chris said he was dropped as a baby, so that might be why. Maybe that's why we like. Maybe that's why we enjoy rally so much, Crest. There's something wrong with us, because I know other people that look at rally racing and they're just like, "That's fucking retarded. Why in the fuck would you ever do that?"
Oh, I love listening to the. I love watching them though. Like,
I would love to fucking do it.
Yeah, I love listening to the fucking to the coach or whatever the hell they're called, reading off the. I love
the co-driver. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, for me, even more so than rally. Like, I would like to do rally, but even more so, I would love to do open desert racing. Like, that's a bucket list thing for me to be able to go to Baja one year and see that. That to me is like the ultimate driving experience, in my opinion, is to drive a trophy truck across Baja at night for fucking 10 hours. Like, that would be absolutely fucking amazing. Doing 100 mile an hour flat out across the fucking desert and not knowing what's over the next fucking ridge. Not knowing if there's a hole on the other side of this hill that can swallow your entire fucking truck. You know, like, that to me is, oh my god, so fucking amazing. Yeah, and Mike says he turns on the computer, hits my Twitch channel, and drift off to sleep. Yeah, I understand that.
Is that like a compliment, or is he saying that you're boring?
Yeah, maybe
like
maybe a little bit
like
of both.
ASMR or what?
Yeah.
Or his voice is just sweet velvet that wraps him in a blanket when he goes to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, you're gonna be able to cross off doing a stage next year. That's awesome. Where are you doing? Where are you doing a rally at? And if, for God's sake, if at all possible, please record it and get me video of it, so I can see it. But yeah. Anyways, so Be Kind Rewind once a week. Probably gonna see the episodes on Friday. Would be my guess, is the most likely.
Yeah. Given
you know, because we're gonna record it generally on like Tuesday, because that's like the one day that I for sure take off streaming. Like, no matter what, pretty much I'm gonna be taking Tuesday off, and then, you know, a day or two to fucking edit it and shit like that, because it is, you know, it's gonna be a lot of fucking work to edit all that. So each week is gonna be a different movie. You know, we may cover, you know, sequels to movies and shit like that. In fact, I know we will, but each week is going to be a different movie. Loster, do we want to tell them? We already know, you know, this episode we're going to be covering Demolition Man. Do we want to give them a kind of sneak peek as to what movie we're going to be talking about next week?
I won't say the name of it because I like them not knowing. But let's just say
it's one of the greatest horror movies of the 90s, hands down.
Yeah, it's science fiction, and Lawrence Fishburne is in it. Ooh, is it Matrix? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nope, but I know what it is.
It's like I said, it's hands down one of the best. It's always been one of my favorite movies, and it always amazes me how few people know it.
Yeah.
Like, how many people have never seen it? It blows my fucking mind.
It's one of the movies, just like Be Kind Rewind, that hit during a time that it got lost up in the news. Like Rockstar, Be Kind Rewind came out, I think, 2 weeks before the housing crisis meltdown.
Oh.
Rockstar released 2 days before 9/11.
Oh, did it?
Yep, that's why Rockstar's a great movie with Mark
God,
Wahlberg.
yeah, that's one of my favorite movies ever. I just sent Locke a video the other day from YouTube of a guy doing a cover of We All Die Young from Rockstar, and oh my fucking god, did that dude nail that cover. Because I love that fucking song. I love all the music from that. And any of you that have seen Rockstar, no, that's not Marky Mark actually singing that. Although he does a damn good job lip syncing it. Holy shit.
Yeah, but it's actually a Serbian singer. He actually got cancer and died after he filmed all that. So you'll never hear his voice
thanks
again.
for fucking ruining the night, Ben. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go drink some bleach. Thanks.
Right?
No problem. But yeah, your next project is definitely going to be one of those ones that just got lost up in a time zone, because it was, I think, right around Columbine, wasn't it?
90.
Yeah. Shit, it was.
96, right?
Yep.
97.
Yeah, it would have been right around that time.
Yeah, I think there's me and Brewer have discussed like a good fair chunk of movies that just felt like that just no one fucking a lot of people don't remember. Like they just weren't they weren't even like popular at the time. You know, it was just like it's a '90s movie and
Well, you know, like we were talking about last night, you know, and we even mentioned in the episode with Demolition Man, like when people think Demolition Man, their first thought is the 3 seashells. That's like the running gag from that movie. And here it is, you know, 20 years later, and people are still talking about the 3 fucking seashells from this movie from 1993. You know, it's basically movies like that. Shit that has kind of a cult following that, you know, guys our age fucking picked up and ran with. You know, things like Boondock Saints and shit like that, that the popular media never really got behind, but you know, for us it was the end all fucking be all. You know, things like that, like fucking things like Army of Darkness and you know, shit like that.
And I think it's exactly what you said it was because of our time. Like half of the movies you're talking about are ones that were box office flops, where they made less than a third back what they tanked horribly. And unlike today, where you have YouTube and all the streaming services there, okay, yeah, we'll give it a second chance. They'll throw it up here, and it becomes a great movie because of that. Back then, there was only Blockbuster or you bought it, and no one wanted to spend $6 on a movie that everyone said it wasn't that good, or it flopped at the movie theaters, or Blockbuster wouldn't even bring it in at all.
Right, and it's like it's so much more expensive to make a movie now that studios aren't willing to like take the risk to like make the movies anymore. Like they used to be. Like Evil Dead would never get made now. Like no fucking way would a studio like Sony or Fox or whatever look at Sam Raimi and be like, yeah, I need $300,000 to make this like movie. It might hit, it might not. I don't know. You know.
Yes and no. I mean, there is still indie shit out there that gets made.
Yeah.
Some very
well,
good
Netflix
indie
is kind of
movies.
keeping it going.
Netflix is the new Miramax. It is. You know, back in. You know, in our day, in the 90s, Miramax was the fucking movie studio for our generation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Kevin
what
Smith and...
you know what later became the Weinstein Company, and you know, obviously Harvey's got all that shit that follows him, but still, you know, for our generation, Miramax or you know the Weinstein Company, that was our movie studio. That was our Marvel.
Was Tarantino Miramax?
Yeah. His original Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Kevin Smith. You know, the trifecta. All 3 of them were under the umbrella of Miramax. You know, so that was our generation's Marvel or Disney, you know, whatever, however you want to look at it.
Right.
You know, so it's probably quite a few of the fucking movies we end up talking about. You'll be, I guess, somewhat surprised to find that quite a few of those were produced by Miramax, or were funded by Miramax, I should say. So,
and like a lot of the sci-fi like underdogs that became great freaking series, like Pitch Black, they were made by USA Films, which is a subsidiary of Miramax again.
Yep.
Like they pretty much. They were pretty much the ones that started everything.
And
a lot of stuff we find.
The thing is, like, if you watch some of the making of like Clerks and shit like that, you find that the reason for that being is, even at that time, Harvey and Bob were older and, you know, not really that connected with, you know, what would be us, the viewing audience at the time. A lot of the fucking, I guess, kind of executives, and not necessarily the shot callers, but, you know, the people that hit the pavement and went out there and found the movies were people our age. You know, there was people in their fucking early 20s working at Miramax saying, hey, we need to pick up this movie because this is shit that my friends would watch, and my friends are the type of people you're trying to get in the fucking movie theater right now. So that's why a lot of that shit in the early and mid 90s was so, I guess, kind of revered by a lot of us, because it was people our fucking age making it.
And Miramax was willing to take a bet, because instead of like asking, we need $25 million to make this movie properly, Clark said, yeah, give us 30 grand, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And they filmed a great movie that is still one of the touchstones of our generation.
Yeah. It's on Netflix right now, which makes me happy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
yep.
it just
awesome.
got added. It just got added a little, like, a couple days ago.
That's awesome. So yeah, you know, again, Be Kind Rewind is going to be on Lobster's YouTube.
I gotta think of a logo, and I want to make like a, I don't know, like an intro, I guess, of some kind. I don't know. I need a logo for sure, though. I need some kind of.
Well, there you go.
Someone who knows how to draw.
If you guys have any photoshopping skills and shit like that, get a hold of Lobster. Shoot him a message in Discord. So yeah, this week's episode we're talking about Demolition Man, and then next week we'll be covering another great fucking gold one from the 90s that I am pretty sure quite a few of you have probably never seen, and that's a travesty. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. We'll be back at it. Tomorrow we'll be streaming some ArmA probably. But we'll have the podcast next week, of course. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get involved in the podcast, or maybe you missed some of the podcast today, make sure you check out the Patreon link down below, or even if you just want to give me money because you're cool and you want me to be able to pay my internet bill, even though Cockcast sucks all the dicks. Make sure you check out the Patreon link. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. And Lobster, Ven, and Yogi, thank you guys for hanging out as well, and thank you for giving your guys' opinion on Monster Hunter World and all that good stuff, and you guys will be seeing that one here over the next day or two. Any last minute things you guys would like to say before we shut it down for the night?
Yogi's Irish.
Yes. And he's
yes, I am, and don't you fucking forget it either.
You're not the favorite Irishman, Donahoe is.
Yes.
Aw.
All right, guys. That's going to be it for tonight. Again, thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you all later.